Hey guys, hopefully you're all still with me and you're not all too emotionally exhausted. So what should we talk about now? Well, I think we should turn our attention to emotions and games. So what should we start with? Well, we know that emotion via good storytelling is a really powerful way to capture somebody's attention. We also know that some emotions seem to exhibit some very specific and sometimes seemingly unrelated behavioural changes. Remember Zach's work on stories, emotions, the release of hormones and subsequent behavioural changes around generosity. We're only at a very, very early embryonic stage of understanding these links. There's so much that we don't know. It's really, really cool stuff. Maybe one of you will be inspired enough to pursue a PhD in the area. Let me know. But for now, though, I want to tie some of this emotion as a means of capturing people's attention, as I said, to the context of games. For those of you who play video games, you'll know that a good proportion of games have a story element to them. Quest or mystery-based games, for example, where, you have to navigate and battle through multiple levels to solve the mysteries of ancient worlds. Think about Lara Croft, for instance, in Tomb Raider. Her character is well defined. She herself has a backstory which adds depth to the narrative landscape of the video game. She's British, she's an aristocrat, she survived a plane crash which leaves her in the Himalayas for a while, which inspires her decision to adventure and explore different worlds. Now, Tomb Raider was so successful as a game, it led to the story being told over multiple platforms, in comics and a couple of Hollywood films starring no less than Angelina Jolie. More about multiple platform storytelling later on in the unit. The point here, though, is that a good story that structures a game helps to elicit player engagement, and we can see examples of strong emotionality in other video games. Games manipulate the emotions of the player. They are taken on a journey that ignites feelings of connectivity, empathy, identification and responsibility with the characters of the story, and indeed maybe the context of the story itself. And thus, when characters with whom we have bonded are killed off or suffer trauma, we feel specific emotions. Death, loss, betrayal, sacrifice, tragedy, they're all common themes in game narratives and which are carefully crafted into the game narratives by the game designers. Of course, you may be asking a very good question at the moment. If these themes are so common in video games, why on earth would this convince us to keep playing? Yes, please, I would just love to feel miserable again and again. Well, remember, video games, like gamification, are interactive systems of entertainment. When we go and see a film, we have to rely on the protagonist of the story to defeat the badness, the injustice, the sorrow, for example, to give us the happy ending that we demand so we can feel good. Film is a passive medium in that the audience, yes, are taken on an emotional journey, but they're not in control of that journey. Despite all the hormonal releases and adrenaline, etc., that might be released, we are, when we experience a film, passive watchers. And this is one of the reasons why gaming can be, I really don't like using this word, but I'm going to use it anyway, addictive. Or, okay, for the moment, let's stick with engaging. We are given the chance when we play games to control the story, to overcome the obstacles of death, danger, betrayal, and all the other powerful but somewhat negative aspects of the narrative and the emotion that these elicit. Thus, the designer's job in this respect is to create a story, a world, an experience where he or she plays with the player's emotions. He or she creates interest by offering adversity. Crucially, though, the player is given the opportunity to not only overcome the challenge of the problem, but which in doing so will elicit positive emotions of, for example, success, victory, relief, happiness, and so on. Thus, the level or extent of the adversity must be set appropriately. too difficult or too hard, the player will just give up and disengage and they just won't be interested. The game designer's job is to manipulate the player's emotions and thus their wanting to continue to play. Okay, I think I've thrown enough concepts at you for now. Feel free, if you want to take a break from the audios and other material, to just think conceptually about what I've discussed with you so far. There's no need for you to memorise or understand the neurology or physiology, for example, of emotions in depth. Just be aware of them conceptually and how they might impact on your designing of your system when you come to think about your own projects. A couple of voluntary links that you might want to access if you feel like it. Well, there's a paper on gaming addiction that I've put a copy on and learn if you're interested. And especially if you play a lot of video games yourself, you might want to check out the video link that I've put on Learn that will take you to a summary, albeit quite a subjective one, to the top 10 of emotional video games. See if you agree. But again, absolutely no requirement of the course for you to look at these two extras. So when you're ready, click on the next video. We're going to move away, in most respects, from the concept of emotion to focus a little bit more on motivation. See you soon.